How's it going, guys? Shane here from the GnG Elite DBS team, and I still haven't quite fixed my computer yet, so I can't really do deck profiles and stuff very easily. So today I figured we'd probably just talk about maybe the future of the banned and restricted list for this game. It has been quite clear for probably about, what, 3-4 weeks now, that people are looking for an update to the list due to the current format. Now I will say I do, for the most part, very much enjoy this format. I do think it is pretty diverse, more diverse than some of the formats we've had in the past. But there is one overlooming evil in this format that is holding it back, which is the Super Shenron High to Mastery deck. Yes, the deck is hard to pilot correctly. However, that doesn't make its absurd power healthy for the game. Just because it's hard to play doesn't mean it should be allowed to be tier 0. Now, a lot of people argue about what is the problem. Is Bulma the problem? Is Child's Wish the problem? Is the leader the problem? Is height the problem? Like, what's the problem? I do think the problem with this deck is a little bit easier to pinpoint than it was with Hirudegarn and Trunk Storm. So there is that. I do think Child's Wish is kind of fine right now, but it is one of those cards that probably will be a problem in the future, kind of like we're seeing right now. Though, in my opinion, the leader is just the big issue right now and needs to go away. Take extra turn effects that are so easy to accomplish have always been problems in every card game. This is nothing new. Problems in Magic, problems in you name it, they've always been a problem. So I do expect the leader to just go away. Now, if they don't get rid of the leader, they'll try and circumvent it, go around the problem. We've seen card games do that before where they don't really address the problem and just go around it. So it is possible that they just hit Child's Wish. I do think it is quite realistic to expect Child's Wish to go to 1 and the leader to get banned, them to just hit both. I don't think that's too far-fetched. I don't think hitting Bulma will happen. I don't think hitting Radar will happen. Those are other cards people are talking about. But Radar's good. Radar's not busted. Like, sure, it's a +1. You get 2 balls, but like, whatever. And like I said, if you get rid of the leader, then I don't think the Child's Wish is a problem at the moment. It could become one in the future, but we can address that when it actually happens. Right now, we should just be worrying about now. What is a problem now? We had all these cards last format. You know, Bulma was a card, Radar was a card, Child's Wish was a card, and we didn't have these problems. The problem is Super Shenron. Being able to take an extra turn on turn 3 or even turn 4 is absolutely absurd. Just absolutely absurd. Now, anyone who watched Anthony's tournament report from Dallas, you know, he played Super Shenron High to Mastery with Victory Strike, and he tells you in the video that he probably won half his games with Victory Strike. This is another problem. High to Mastery into Victory Strike is not healthy. Is not a good interaction for the game. Typically, the way you play around High to Mastery is keeping a high life total. That way, they have to hit you multiple times, and you can more easily survive. By doing that, you get punished by Victory Strike. The way to play around Victory Strike has typically been to get your life relatively low, so you can at least awaken, you have extra cards in your hand to try and defend this Victory Strike with. But if you do that, you're getting punished by High to Mastery. And then let's not even take into account the fact that they're getting to take a second turn. So I am hoping that they either ban Victory Strike, because automatic win conditions have never been good. It doesn't change in this game. Or simply remove the Universe 7 trait from High to Mastery so that Victory Strike can't go on top of it. One of those two. I'll be fine with either one. Now, it is possible that they just limit path to 1, but I don't think that'll really do anything in the grand scheme of things, because you can just successor for it. So unless it gets trapped in your life, it doesn't really matter. So I don't like the idea of path to 1. I don't think it's reliable enough of a hit to the deck. Oh shoot, there was something else I was going to talk about. I don't remember what. No, I think that was it. I mean, other than those things, like, the format's really healthy for the most part. You know, Broly's really good, but loses to certain strategies. Janemba's still good. Kid Goku is good. What else is there? There's some Shenron. Shenron Kid Buu is good. There's a lot of like little decks that are good. The problem is the Shenron High Masteries just kind of has a stranglehold on the format, where if you can't beat that, then you're screwed, and it's not that great. It's not very good, and let's like more so than anything else, it's exceptionally frustrating when you sit down and play that matchup. And people aren't exaggerating when they say your opponent's playing solitaire with themselves. Your opponent's taking long turns with no interaction. It's not fun. It is so very far from fun. So not only is it unhealthy for the game, it's unhealthy for newer players, because new players aren't going to want to come into a game and watch their opponent diddle themselves for 40 minutes. It's just the new players aren't going to want to play that, and this needs to be addressed. So I would fully expect within, let's see, we're at the end of, today's first day of May. I would fully expect in 2 weeks, I'd say we'll probably have some additions to the ban list, because I think they're going to want to address it before the national season starts in June. And I know there's some holiday going on right now in Japan, like the week of whatever, so probably shortly after that is when we'll get an announcement. So I would expect by mid-May we'll have some sort of, even if it's just Bandai saying, hey, we're going to watch these things, not ban them yet, but watch them, that we'll probably get something. I'm sure they are well aware. It probably doesn't help that it took a little bit of time for people to really catch on to how powerful the deck was. Because if you go back and you look at Charlotte, Danny Wynn was like the only one playing it. And you know, he did fairly well. But then once Chicago hit, more people caught on to it. Danny Hype and all of them were also playing it, you know, because there's multiple variants of the deck. And there were several people playing it and did well with it. San Diego hit, and it's in the finals, and it was not fun to watch. That mirror match is not fun to watch. And then you come to Dallas, and I mean, Anthony did well with it, Dahan did well with it, several other people did well with it. I mean, I was pretty triggered from that deck, because round 2 I took a draw because they were playing Victory Strike, and it's Victory Strike. I won game 1 and then lost with 2 minutes left in overtime to a Victory Strike. So that's frustrating. But honestly, I think that's all that really needs to be hit in this format. Like, if you can just take that deck out of the format, I think the format looks great. Like, just limit Child's Wish to 1, ban Super Shenron, and either ban Victory Strike or take the U7 trait off of High to Mastery. One of the two. Just being able to tap down your opponent's energy and then follow that up into a Victory Strike is absolutely absurd. Like, that's just not good. Like, it's already hard enough to play around because Victory Strike can't be negated. Now it's even harder because you don't have any energy. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. But anyways, that's about how I feel for it. You know, limit Child's Wish to 1. Do something about height into Victory Strike, and ban the Super Shenron leader. Like, there's no reason to go around problems. Just address the problems head on. Don't go around them. I also would not be surprised to see Bardock hit, because they ignored Bardock when they answered Storm originally. And I wouldn't be surprised if they finally just do something with Bardock, whether that's an errata to make him have to have a Goku's lineage leader or whatever that is. That is another thing they could do with height as well. Height of Mastery could require a Goku's lineage leader. That would help answer a lot of these problems as well. There's multiple routes they could take that I think will be good. You know, they just have to pick one and go for it. But hopefully they just pick one. Because I'm going to be honest, like, even Super Shenron has kind of made me less interested in the game. Like, the deck is infinitely more unhealthy than original Storm was. The deck is just dumb and makes the game not fun. Like, I just don't like watching my opponent take 10-minute turns. It's not fun. But anyways, guys, that's it for me. Tell me what you guys think about any upcoming ban list changes, erratas that you want to see, and we can talk about it in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay elite.